what's up?
Baby, let's go.
Welcome to our website. We got loads of news and gossip for you today. But first, here's a new song.
The moon, the stars, the sky. Come on closer, baby, let the lights go out. Yeah. We fall and then we rise. No more alibis, I wanna hide now. Yeah. Fall into the fire, baby, we could ride the night, yeah. I'ma show you, or we could shine the light, hey. Lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Walk a straight line, how many fingers? An ecstasy, fragrance lingers, yeah. And those endless conversations, and you feel it floating now. I finally got you, and I'm following you into the fire. Baby, we could ride the night, yeah. I'ma show you, or we could shine the light, yeah. Lift your hands, free your mind and mind combine and float up to the higher. It's okay, it's okay. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Pure love, pure love. Hold me up, cause you never wanna drop me, not me. Got the key, dancing to unlock me. Side to side, your fingers don't faze me. Crazy to say, but nothing gonna stop me. You're talking to get you. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you. You should say what you say. Oh, come on, get it longer. Oh, come on, get it longer. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Close your eyes, baby, let me show you pure love, pure love. Come on, baby, let me get you close to pure love, pure love. Show you, let me show you pure love, pure love.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Café is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Café and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Café. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Café on a beautiful Wednesday, hump day. It's funny.
Day.
Why do people wait until we're on the air to send me a text, an email?
They don't. That's just when you answer them.
No, they just send them all in.
Because everyone's doing what they got to do. I was actually
But they
researching.
can't do it within the 2-hour span that I had while I was watching these maniacs hang those curtains.
Which is why I haven't answered my emails in the past hour, because
Yeah, but
we've
that
been
means
cleaning
I
up
have to
around here for the
ask.
I'll answer them later. We've been cleaning up around here for the last 2 days, and nice teamwork, boys and girls. I must say, you should have been here. We should have had a camera on then. It was like once everything I hung, it was like whoop. They had cleaning, they had mopping, they had vacuums, they had dusting, they had everything going on, and clean and good to go. Commercials ready to rock and roll, and
It's
back
funny.
on air,
It's
guys.
funny because Dawn didn't think you guys were going to pull it off.
Always.
No, because you never put away the hammer, the nails, until the job is done.
I actually asked them if they were done with it, and they all told me yes.
No,
No, they all told me
until they
yes.
broke something and they needed another one, which we can't find now.
Got it all taken care of. Nice job, guys. Joshua, nice job.
Joshua
Must
says
say-
I'm a carpenter.
Vinny, nice job. Slick, Dan, teamwork, girls. Nice job. They all did a beautiful thing. So happy Wednesday. Good to be back on air. Yesterday, we actually ran an encore performance from Monday because we were doing some hanging and housekeeping because it's about to get a little bit busy in here thanks to Comcast and AMP2 Media Productions.
I just saw the latest Comcast commercial. Taylor just sent it to me. A couple of things I want to change, but it looks pretty good.
But that's for Allegiance.
Allegiance, yes. And what I want to do is I want to play the Comcast commercials behind us
Okay.
during our presentation starting June 1st, because that's when it opens up. June 1st, you will be watching all the commercials that we put together on TV. Creative juices at a flow.
Allegiance Senior Consultants. They are a placement facility for assisted living, independent living, memory care, and they serve the 3 counties. So that is the latest. Triumph also is a public adjuster in Fort Lauderdale. Plus, you'll be seeing the AMP2 TV commercial and the AMP Media Productions commercial, and soon All County Home Health Care, talking about COPD for you or your loved one, on how to actually get your life back to where you want it and deal with COPD. So a lot of great things
And
happening.
we have Clean 9/11. That was a cute
Rescue
commercial.
9/11.
Rescue 9/11.
So a lot
I
of things
thought it was
happen.
Rescue Clean 9/11.
It might be.
It might be.
It might be very much. Good to have you back on set with us. Man, you get everyone rocking and rolling, I must say.
But you can't panic. You know,
You
in
can't drown in a
baseball-
glass of water?
No, in baseball, you don't. The game ain't done in the first inning. You got to wait till the last out in the ninth.
I'd rather drown in a shot of Lost Harbor
I've never
Capistar.
seen a person panic so much. Like we weren't gonna get
It's
it
not panic. It's just, getting it done. It's just getting it done.
getting it done.
And tomorrow we're going to be wrapping up our 6-week program with Space of Mind with a live remote at their World's Fair. It is an open house, so if you are in the area of Delray Beach on Swinton Avenue, right across from Dada, we're going to be live streaming the kids' final projects, the graduate projects, all of the kids. We went and we taught podcasting to the entire school for 6 weeks on their cities. So tomorrow we get to culminate what we've done with them, and we're going to be live streaming and broadcasting that, and we'll be airing on WNN at 7 o'clock. So if you're up there, come on by, check out the school. It's an amazing school for everybody, but definitely small student to teacher ratio, hands-on curriculum, and it's all about learning, interconnecting the dots.
You know, I've
Yeah,
been,
you're going to say you know what a curriculum is?
yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's a newspaper.
Yeah.
Anyway, I put a cue out to the kids, and we're about to launch something we're going to be doing on the show from now on. So cue up now camera 3, because I hear we have some breaking news. So let's take it over to 3.
Hi guys, breaking news. Well, actually 52 years ago, this was breaking news. 52 years ago today, in 1969, Apollo 10 returned to Earth. Apollo 10 was a human space flight, the fourth crewed mission in the United States Apollo program, and the second after Apollo 8 to orbit the moon. It was the F mission, a dress rehearsal for the first moon landing, testing all the components and procedures just short of the actual landing. And you're wondering, why is this important? Well, the Apollo 10 mission encompassed all the aspects of the actual crewed lunar landing, except the landing. It was the first flight of a complete crewed Apollo spacecraft to orbit around the moon. Now back to you guys and back to the show.
Wow.
Back on air.
We
Nice
pull-
job, Bianca.
we pulled
Thank
it
you.
off.
She had her show today. How was it, Lady B?
It
Queen
was
B?
good. Me and Slick, we had some good conversation. I think we gave out some good advice. We also talked about how we both really like public speaking.
Slick, you like Queen Bee? We know does. Slick, you like public speaking?
But like, yeah, public speaking like really shakes the room and like really puts you out of your comfort zone. Only like it's not for the faint of heart.
That is true.
Because you have really snakes and like I know my public speaking class is like an auditorium and very like there's a lot of people with eyes on you like questioning your opinion and then just public speaking really I say bring your actual self out.
Bring your actual self out.
You know, the bottom line
Yeah.
is you can't let what other people say move you from your passion.
Correct.
And nobody's born speaking. I mean, I know I wasn't. And English was my second language. So I have to learn to communicate. Now I'm at an age that say, you don't like what I say, just turn off.
Just keep communicating better.
That's the way I see it. But you guys all are here. You're learning, you're growing. And now, because it looks like we're getting back into the groove, we're not there yet. And the fighting among ourselves between mask and no mask got to stop. You know, the stewardess got 2 teeth knocked out because the guy did not want to put on his mask. FBI landed the plane and arrested him. That stuff, that nonsense has got to stop. You don't want to wear it, it's cool. You get your shot, you don't get your shot, that's cool. But you can't put your hand on anybody else. Just cannot do that. And it continues. But you guys are here to learn. So just keep learning, keep doing and growing. And you want to make mistakes in this room. Because when you get out there, mistakes won't be tolerated, right?
Sure that.
And we're going to be doing remotes real soon?
We're actually tomorrow we're going back on remote over to Space of Mind. Save the date for June 11th. We've got a ladies' night here with Dignity Memorial. And yes, for all of those gentlemen that wrote in and tell me I'm sexist, this is a ladies' night. So sorry, but it is what it is. We're doing a ladies' night here on Friday, June 11th from 6 o'clock, sponsored by Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida, and Lost Harbor Spirits. So Lisa, if you want to join us, it's talking about pre-need and how women, and yes, men you as well, but this event is for ladies, how women should get their pre-need in place, make all the arrangements, at least plant the seed, start thinking about what it is, because Wayne always says, and we'll talk about this on Friday, that life is short and you never know what's going to happen. And we heard a very sad situation that happened this week.
Oh, I got one that is sad yesterday.
I think one of our client sisters, she passed away, and our condolences to you. She was probably only in her late 30s. She was avid, well known in the community in Fort Lauderdale for what she did for nutrition and lifestyle and bariatric center memorial. And she was in a biking accident, and I think she was hit by a car and lost her life. Only in her 30s. So we say it not because we're making fun, not because we have nothing better to do, but because truly it is so important to get your pre-need done, because you never know. And hopefully you don't use it for many, 50, 100 years from now, but at least you'll be locked in on the price. So save the date, June 11th. It is a free event. All I need is an RSVP so we know how much vodka we need to have on stock, and then of course some food and light bites to keep everyone absorbing what they need to.
That's right. And to follow up on that, we are going to have a networking party at Tommy at Artful Dodger, where men and women will be able to participate.
June 24th, we think.
We think. We don't know yet. We're working on it. You got to understand, we have to make sure that other people are ready to do these events as well. We are not opening up to 100 people in here. That ain't happening.
No.
Not now, and not for the foreseeable future. Because I don't want to do all this work and then somebody else gets sick in here and all that work goes out the window.
Right.
So, whether you understand or not, we are going to go to the Dodger, which is a bigger locale.
It's what they do
have
best.
Cameras in there. They got stages and everything else in there. It's just bigger. So more to come. I'm working with Slick, who's talking to Tommy, and we're going to be putting that whole thing Saturday nights. It's a Saturday night.
Saturday nights at the Dodger.
Saturday
yes.
nights is ours.
Yeah, Saturday nights is ours.
So
yeah.
we're going to put a network party together. We're going to bring all the players in there to be highlighted in there as well. It will be for men and women, and we'll see how we put it together. We just got to find out what Tommy will allow us to do and not to do.
So that was just some quick housekeeping. Then we get to go check in with our guests. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Lisa with Love Serving Autism. See what she's got going on and how we can help support our community. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Need a strong cup of coffee to get you through your day? Try your very own Brooklyn Café Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Café Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Café coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Looking for a cool, laid-back space with great people and even better drinks? You can't lose. The Artful Dodger, Boca Raton's hidden gem. A good, old-fashioned local bar is hard to come by, but not anymore. The Artful Dodger is a fun, casual place to sit back and relax. Located at 495 Northeast 20th Street in Boca Raton, you'll find your new favorite bar. The Artful Dodger. We'll see you there.
Hello. Today in history, my name is Joshua Powell, and today in history, if there are any vampire fans out there, Dracula by Irish writer Bram Stoker, I'm pretty sure, or Bram Stoker, released today in London. And Dracula inspired many other things coming after, mostly, Twilight or other vampire stories, as the Vampire Diaries or anything else. Yeah. And I'd like to bring it back to Don and Freddie.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. That's Joshua.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree?
The album by you two. Joshua Tree.
Ah, Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua has only been with us 3 days.
I know. We've thrown him right into the fire.
Because that's why his eyes are so
But
big.
he's done a great
He
job.
picks up the mic already?
But we have a guest actually in studio, and she's been very patient with us. We've got Lisa Puglisi with us
just wanted to
from
make her nervous.
Love Serving Autism.
Look at her, she's laughing.
And I only wish I could play tennis. It's one of those things that I cannot do.
You're too short.
No, I've got no eye-hand coordination.
Oh. She plays tennis?
Well, let's talk to her about Love
Do
Serving
you play
Autism.
tennis?
I do.
Are you
welcome.
a tennis pro?
I am a certified tennis pro, yes.
Wow.
Yes. That's one of my lives, one of my jobs.
Tell us about Love Serving Autism. What prompted you to even start it?
Sure. So, Love Serving Autism is a nonprofit organization, and we teach specialized therapeutic tennis instruction to children and adults on the spectrum. And
Serving. Love selling autism. You
Oh,
could sew also, but it's
I
serving.
don't know really how to sew, but but that's okay. I need to learn that too. So I started the organization in 2017, connecting. I'm a speech and language therapist too, so I wanted to connect my two passions of the tennis. I grew up in tennis. I played in college, a little on the tour before I had a back injury, and decided to go to grad school. Became an SLP, speech language pathologist, and so Love Serving Autism is really a connection of my two passions.
What is it like, first of all, teaching tennis? Like I said, I've got no eye-hand coordination. So for me and sweating and the whole thing, it was not a thing for me. But how is it working with kids and people on the spectrum?
I think tennis is a great sport for children on the spectrum because it's visual, it's repetitive, and it really works on their social skills, life skills. So I think of tennis as like the space at tennis as like a therapy setting. So when they come out, they're interacting with each other and they're working on their hand-eye coordination, like you said, and their fine motor, which is like holding a racket. And we will also work with therapists. So we have like occupational physical therapists. Who else do we have? Behavior therapists coming out. So I think that it's a wonderful sport for, in general. Not everyone loves tennis, but I know I grew up in it. My husband's a tennis pro in Boca, actually, at the Oaks. So it's a big part of my life.
But isn't it exhausting? I mean, I look at tennis, right? I start sweating. Because you're running around, 2 hours, sometimes 3, right? In that heat, especially down here. And don't you get exhausted? I mean, I know you train and everything else to do this, but you got to get tired, especially if you're in a tournament that you got to play day after day.
I think, like you said, the collegiate and professional players are trained in it. I think the key here is to hydrate, stay, drink as much water as possible before and after tennis, because I know during COVID, a lot of the clubs shut down, then they reopened, and there was this huge boom in tennis, the biggest boom they've ever seen. And for instance, my husband teaches sometimes 12, 13 hours in a row.
Wow.
Lesson after lesson after lesson. And it's purely because he's drinking water and he's trying to, he wears a big hat. And I mean, you just do your best to stay, take breaks from the heat. But, and as far as children on the spectrum, they can tolerate it for about an hour. Our classes are about an hour once a week in the different locations. So I think it's important for them, to get out, exercise, and then they go back inside.
What ages do you work with?
We have children from the ages of 4 years old all the way to adults.
4-year-old?
Yeah, four-year-olds have attended our classes, and typically a parent or a therapist is with them at the time because they're not independent. But it's more early intervention for them.
So let me ask you about that, because I got my degree in special ed. The early intervention is critical.
Right.
To get kids, I think for everything. I think socializing your kids, the younger you are, the better it is. So kids across the spectrum of just being kids. But early intervention, fine motor skills, bullying, all of that comes into play within this program that you're working with.
Right. So I'm a big believer in the earlier you start something, the better, the more they're exposed to different sports. And I did work at the Palmer School for Autism for about 5 years as a speech therapist, and we started the tennis program there after school, the very first one. And some of the parents were, even in the preschool, oh, my child could never attend to that sport. There's no way, they don't even follow, multiple step directions at home. But for whatever reason, they get outside and they have the racket in their hand and, they see the balls flying around. And I think it just, as far as early intervention, it helps. The skills they learn in tennis, can carry over into different settings. So it's just something new, and the parents just that's what I encourage parents to really push your child to learn something new, try something new, step outside of your comfort zone, because you never know until you try, and your child may like it.
Are parents coming out now, bringing their kids more and more? Are they feeling comfortable with the situation?
Well, COVID impacted our volunteers as far as, we used to have the coach, volunteers, and the parents would kind of sit on the side and kind of, connect with each other. But now the parents are coming on court more. Some of our volunteers are not yet fully, they're either waiting to get vaccinated or they're not yet ready to return. So it's great to see the parents involved more on court, and it builds like a bond, I think, between the parent and the child playing a sport together. So we're seeing more of that now.
I guess it's like when you would coach baseball
I
with
was
your
just
boys,
thinking,
right?
she just took me right there.
Same thing. So it's the bond.
I got to coach 6-year-olds,
Wow.
and I think the parents got coached more than the kids.
Right.
Because they finally started to discover they really don't know their kids. They don't know, how much enthusiasm they have. They don't know how much they'll work out. They don't know they'll run that extra mile. Parents used to tell me, this kid is not going to run a mile, coach. And I says, okay, let's see what he can run. And they ran the mile.
They ran the mile.
I mean, I had kids running since they were 6 years of age just to tire them out so that I could coach them. I used to use that. It's amazing that you have people coming bigger numbers, and that you start so young. I'm floored by that.
I think, nowadays with autism, I think what the statistics are, 1 in 54 children are diagnosed, which is like 1 in 43 boys. So we see more of it nowadays, and I think parents are more aware of it, and they can identify at an earlier age the symptoms, and especially the screenings are going on earlier, so they get them into programs by like 1.5, 2 years of age as far as therapies.
You see there's a higher statistic of autism in boys than girls?
Yes, there's usually
that's significant though. 1 in 47, you said, or 43 to
1 in
56?
43 boys. So usually at tennis, you'll see there's a ratio of like 4 boys to 1 girl. So you see a lot more boys with autism than girls.
Isn't that interesting?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
But what I want to tell you too, as far as the parent assisting the child, I think parents know their child better than maybe the coach does. So if a child maybe has a moment at tennis, they're on the spectrum, like a behavior, the parent can, redirect them a little better. Or say, oh yeah, maybe they really want to work for the iPad today, so let's do first tennis, then iPad, so the parent helps a lot with those behavioral, strategies and transitions. So.
And when the kids get out on the court, how many do you have on? They play together or one-on-one?
We have up to 10 typically on a court together with one coach and maybe like 3 or 4 volunteers. And we usually set up stations so that they're working on like hand-eye coordination, hitting their volleys. They're working on all the different skills. And I believe, it's good to teach turn taking. So a lot of times they're waiting in line and they all stand on colored, they're like little circles on the tennis court, poly spots, so that they know where to stand, which helps them too. So they do work together. It's not like they're rallying and, the tennis nowadays, they start with the red ball, which is pressureless. It's a big red foam ball.
That's the one I need.
Yeah. So it's more airless learning, and then you advance through the different colors of tennis balls.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what do you find as far as the kids and their camaraderie and social skills?
Even the children who are nonverbal, I think, communicate in their own way, and I think they love seeing their peers out at tennis. So we actually had a child at the Palm Beach School for Autism bring his racket every day into his room, and he was nonverbal. And his mom's like, you wouldn't believe he won't let me put his racket back in the garage or whatever. It has to stay in his room. And he was trying to communicate like, I'm going to tennis tomorrow. This is my routine. And I think a part of it is seeing his friends, so I do think it does we did go to the U.S. Open in 2019. We had about 20 children fly up to New York, and they had a blast because they were on the airplane together and the hotel together, and so.
And the U.S. Open is nice.
It was a fun event.
I went to it a few times when I was in New York.
You know what I love about this whole program is that for kids who are not as good as others, they get to model the behaviors of those without being bullied from someone who may not be on the spectrum or who's really good, and you feel uncomfortable. Like I was always the heavy kid that they always teased, so I couldn't hit the ball. So it leaves a stigma in your head, but now these kids are all accepted because this is the program that you put forward is acceptance.
Right. It's a safe place.
From a young age, and these become their friends and great role models to look up to.
And some are advancing through our program to a more inclusive model. So they, tennis is yellow balls eventually. So they start with red and they go through colors, but we do have a few graduates going into inclusion settings. So they're joining like after school tennis programs with some of their peers. And it's really great to see, you know, that they work together. You know, even though a child's on the spectrum, they can still participate with others. So
That's a big accomplishment.
Where is the program located?
the one in Boca is at Patch Reef Park, which is a public tennis center here. We have around 14 locations though, and we're growing throughout Florida.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so we're expanding. We're partnering with USTA Florida, which is the U.S. Tennis Association. So their goal is for us to reach 800 children and adults in the next 3 years.
How many kids do you work with now?
Before COVID, we had around 250.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know. It was.
How much you have now?
Well, now that we're just now reopening,
Reopening,
everything.
okay.
So a lot of the same kids, and then we're trying to invite new children as well.
What's
So,
the big tennis tournament down in, is it Miami?
Miami Open? Yes. So
That's the big one.
That we usually sometimes we have a kids clinic there. So hopefully they canceled it this year due to COVID. And the Delray Beach Open, they canceled our clinic due to COVID. But next year, hopefully, like that's in February and March, those two events.
Well, that one is definitely, I can see things beginning to change in November around here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope so.
I see the Knicks already, and they allow 15,000. Can you explain this to me? 15,000 fans in Madison Square Garden. Why didn't they just open up to 19,000?
Or 20?
It only holds 18.9. But why didn't they open it up to a bigger number? Why you stop at 15? If you're going to open, you might as well open.
It's a percentage, I guess. I don't know. 75%?
Percentage? Why, the stadium will collapse?
No, of exposure.
Oh.
Exposure is what I think. What about fees? Is it paid by the parents? Is it covered by Medicaid?
It's
Is
a
it covered-
mix. We're
Okay.
actually applying to insurance. We're becoming credentialed with insurance companies now for the first time as an
Wow.
organization. So hopefully we can offer, you know, through insurance the program. But currently there's just a small fee, like $10 a class. So
Wow.
it's pretty minimal. And sometimes we have like sponsors or donors provide scholarship funding. It helps us get equipment and pay our coach. So
That's
That's
great. And you
amazing.
take donations and everything else, right?
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's get the do we have the website?
Love Serving Autism?
LoveServingAutism.org is our website, and we do
.org,
have
okay.
a donation button on there.
Excellent.
Which, yes,
And yes, you have a scholarship foundation also on there.
we do. We have a scholarship fund in honor of one of our students had passed a few months ago, young adult on the spectrum. He had a seizure disorder. So, you know, and so in honor of him, we set up a scholarship fund. So that's on our website.
And you do speech and language through tennis also?
I'm still doing actually private speech in addition to the nonprofit. So I do teletherapy right now.
Wow.
But yes, our goal is to, you know, right now we have some graduate students from FAU actually coming out to our programs who are in the speech and language program, and they're getting clinical hours. So that is our goal, to offer those services, you know, during the tennis program.
That is incredible. I
Thank
kind of
you.
wish I had a program like that. My parents tried. They tried, it was like juggling for dummies. It was this book. They tried me to do that. They tried tennis. I just have no eye-hand
Try what? Aye.
I just have no eye-hand
Yeah.
coordination because of my eye. Because I got
Michael Jordan always said, because he was the greatest basketball player, he says, if you can't play the game, coach.
there
right.
you go.
But you're welcome to visit our program. I mean, we have 6-week sessions going on, and Friday, Saturday are classes. So, and I do want to invite some of the children here at some point. I
We
would
would
love
love
for
to have them come.
That'd be
To
great.
meet
We'll
you
set up a
guys.
tennis court in the parking lot,
Yes,
and you have to play slick.
sounds good. We have all the equipment. It's portable.
Any of you guys play
So
tennis?
Slick does.
Boys and
Oh,
girls?
do you play tennis? Okay.
Dan does.
Oh, Dan, yeah, Dan. He's a good tennis player.
All right.
Dan
All right.
plays hockey. He thinks hockey is tennis.
Teresa, do you play?
No.
Does
Okay.
Bianca play? I don't like that.
I don't know if Bianca plays tennis or not. But that would be incredible. We'd love to welcome some of the kids
Absolutely.
here.
That could be fun. Matter of fact, let's coordinate because I'll have the pirate ship here for the kids.
Okay.
Oh, that would be fun.
Let's talk to Captain
Captain Tiny.
And we'll coordinate this whole thing.
I got my rackets in the car right now.
You're just a
All right.
racket.
That's awesome. What's the best way for people to contact you?
Info at LoveServingAutism. It's on our website.org, or my email is Lisa at LoveServingAutism.org. So either way, it all goes to me. So
And you know what? It's summer. Kids are out of school.
Right.
There's camp. Do you have day camp?
We're actually offering our first camp. It's up in Palm Beach Gardens, so
Okay.
we don't yet have one in southern Palm Beach County.
You know what, though? I think at some point the parents are willing to travel to get your kids what they need. So
Right. So we hope to host more camps in the near future now that I think the families are feeling more comfortable coming back out. I notice our numbers are increasing again. We do virtual tennis too, by the way, during COVID.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah, so I don't have all of this technology at the house, but
Hold on. You do virtual
tennis. So I have a laptop, myself, and we're on Zoom. And I teach tennis from the house, and they all have their
I could do that.
and we're doing.
So I say, Mom, watch it. Here it comes.
That's right. That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Boom. That in itself is a Saturday night.
It's like volleyball.
You see, Dawn, you can do it virtually. And
Right.
we can actually make it so that it looks like you really hit the ball.
Exactly. See?
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
That would be great. Check
Wow.
it out.
Thank you
Lisa?
for inviting me.
Oh, our pleasure. I look forward to having the kids.
Yes,
and
definitely.
giving them an experience to be in the studio. And Dan actually has a drone, so that might be fun also to get some footage
Okay.
out on the tennis
And
courts.
we actually have a 40-foot pirate ship.
Wow.
That's actual.
Okay.
It's not virtual. It
Okay.
comes in a park. We'll park it in the parking. Oh, we can have so much fun with
Yes.
LoveServingAutism.org, a great organization for kids of all ages, from 4 all the way up, for tennis instruction, for camaraderie, for social skills, for language skills, for therapy skills. It's incredible to use it for therapy. Nice idea.
this. Helps kids also sleep at night because they'll be tired. It's
Maybe I
another
can
good
put the
trick.
dog there.
Make the dog
Can I
chase.
make the dog
tennis
chase
ball.
the balls? Because if this dog doesn't let me get some sleep, it's not going to be pretty sexy tomorrow.
Please, I'm begging you, somebody, put this woman
Please,
to
I
sleep.
need some sleep. Let's take a commercial break. More to come. Brooklyn Cafe on this Wednesday. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon, and remember, it's always a great day for ice cream.
So, you've been hearing all the exciting buzz and chatter about this new game changer in the pickup and delivery and rideshare space, and now you want to know more. Well, forget everything you knew about the tired old delivery and rideshare services that bully restaurants, take advantage of drivers, and confuse consumers into spending way more than they should. Welcome to a new delivery and rideshare company, Trip Delivers and Trip Rides, where we put you first. When you sign up as a driver with Trip Delivers and Trip Rides, we onboard you with your own credit card merchant account. That's right, with Trip, you're in the driver's seat as an owner-operator of your own business, and you'll always earn 100% of the delivery fee, rideshare fee, cancellation fee, wait time, and tip. And therefore, we charge a low monthly fee to use the Trip platform. For only $39.99 per month, you can sign up as a side hustle driver, allowing you up to 75 rides, 75 deliveries, or 75 of both combined per month. Welcome to a new delivery and rideshare company, where drivers earn more, consumers and riders pay less, and restaurants are charged less. Trip Rides. Going places, doing good.
30 years, the acute color sense and masterful presentations of this artist have inspired women worldwide. Barbara's style encompasses it all: bold and brazen, subtle and calming, drawing on unconventional techniques and tools, canvas spinning, scraping, and sandpapering. Her hallmark is highly textured surfaces and playful resin-filled abstracts. Barbara graduated magna cum laude from New York University. She studied at Cooper Union and the Boca Museum of Art. To view her artwork, visit her website at barbarasilvergallery.com or contact her by phone at 917-757-0447 or by email at barbarasilvergallery@gmail.com.
Okay. Am I starting? Am I on? Okay. Hey guys, so we're bringing you a quick message from our sponsor, the Brooklyn's Cafe's favorite choice of run, Gubba Rum. and it should be your choice because you have to check them out. It's a really smooth rum, cane-based, artisanally made in small batches, and you could just pour yourself a drink to enjoy Happy Hump Day, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so pour yourself a glass and just enjoy Gubba rum. Really great flavors. They have coconut and vanilla, so check it out and have it be your choice, just like we love it here at Brooklyn Cafe. Back to Dawn and Freddie.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Yes, and that noise you heard in the background happens to be Vinny's. He's hungry.
Can you believe? Guess who's on the board? Chenza's on the board.
How can you not know it's Chenza? Of course.
You've had them working hard today.
Chenza.
Vinny was up there, then you had Joshua up there, and it's like, did you get up there today? Did we get any pictures of anyone up there?
Yes, RK has pictures.
RK has pictures. All right, where is RK, by the way?
He's in Studio A.
Oh, he's learning how to do the board.
Good, because I'm going to flip him out there when Vinny comes forward.
Awesome. And you're also going to see, we actually sent out another, not a newsletter, but a little bit of communication on what's going on through Amp Media Production. So if you received an email, want to be on TV, contact us. We can help elevate and amplify your business to be on TV.
That's right. We got some new things coming out.
A lot of people have replied to that, by the way.
I know. And you know what? It's about time. Because it's only been going on for 5 years.
Well, we had not put one out in a year, since last June.
That's because somebody in here decides to put one out every week. Can't do it every week. It's every quarter.
So we haven't put it out in a year, but now we're going to do the smaller snippets,
you have
I
no
think.
patience.
None.
None. I had the guys up here hanging off the rafters.
Yeah.
And she says, this is dirty. So I made them clean it, and this, every this. And you took the tools away.
I was trying to
Well, we were still in the midst of finishing.
It's like when people used to come to my house, my mom would say, why are you taking my coffee cup away or my martini glass when I'm still drinking it? I'm like, all right, so now I leave it and I wait. It's like watching a pot boil, see if there's a ring on the table, and I just leave everything.
You ever gone to a restaurant and they pick up your plate and you're like on your last French fries or something, and they take it? Ever happened to you?
And you're like, no, I've got one more.
No, I don't do that. I say, excuse me, sir, you know the plate you took? I want another set of fries on you because I wasn't done. And they bring it.
Yep, 100%.
Not that I'm going to eat 2 plates of fries. It's
You
just
never know.
I saw somebody once cutting a steak and they were taking the plate away. I saw that. That was horrible.
You know, do you believe it's already Memorial Day weekend coming up?
Stop saying that to me because I feel I've aged.
Can you even believe like next week is June? Somehow I missed you telling me in February summer's coming.
I told you. And I'm glad that you're here because I was going to ask you, people leave and they go up north for the summer. But then I was told that a whole big influx of Northerners and Californians and whoever else from wherever have moved into Florida. You can't buy a house if you wanted to right now. So those numbers sort of reverse and add up. Do you feel the trend that people, even though they've left, we've gathered more than have left?
You're asking me?
I'm asking you.
Well, I can tell you because being in the tennis industry, I mean, the numbers have just, like I said, it's the biggest boom in tennis because more people moved here during COVID. The New Yorkers are not really returning, a lot of them. So that's what we're seeing at the clubs. You know, there's waiting lists for tennis classes and lessons, and it's just, so yes, I do see that.
You know, it's remarkable that more people will play tennis up north, and maybe you correct me if I'm wrong. Up north, they rather play tennis because they don't want their kids involved in contact sports.
Right.
They don't want them in football.
Right.
Basketball has become the warrior sport. People are breaking legs on the court. You see what's going on?
It's as dangerous as football, basketball can be, this collision sport.
Yeah, oh my God, even Sir James, took him 3 months to come over his little sprained boo-boo. But what's happening, look what's happening in baseball. 95-mile-an-hour pitch in the guy's face. Did you see this? Not gone. He came the next day with his one eye here and another eye back there. He wanted to be in the lineup. That man is a warrior, but parents are afraid of letting their kids play baseball. Forget about football. I got into an argument about that the other day. Hockey. So they're turning to tennis and golf courses. The problem is in New York, Van Cortlandt Park is the only golf course. There are more tennis courts than there are golf courses in New York.
Right.
So they're going towards the non-contact sport until you see somebody serve 124 miles an hour and it hits you right here.
Like your husband. Boom.
Like your husband.
Right.
We have more, I mean, being in Florida, though, we have a lot of outdoor, obviously, tennis. But up north, it's indoor. So it's a little more challenging. It's more expensive to play tennis also up north.
You would think it's a box of balls, right?
Yeah.
A can of balls and the racket.
Now, is pickleball like tennis?
I've played once. It's a lot smaller court, obviously faster pace. A lot of tennis pros don't love it because they say, well, we just want to teach tennis. We don't want to have to teach pickleball. But you know, when you're young, a lot of younger kids are starting to like it because it's just fun to play with your friends. And we haven't actually tried it yet with our children with autism. That's something I'm interested in doing.
What's the difference other than the smaller court? They tell me it's really hard on your knees, but I don't know why.
I think it's less impact than tennis, so it's actually better, I heard.
Well, pickleball is like a miniature tennis.
Yeah, it's like a miniature tennis court. And the
Because
ball is a little bit different, obviously.
It's a little bit harder and smaller.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
and there's different rules, but from what I see, you play with partner. It's like
That's
doubles.
when listen, NYU pickleball champion.
Okay.
1980.
You've played pickleball?
87. You go to the library at NYU, and they had nothing but pickleball
Fact check this,
courts.
guys.
Yeah, check it out. I was there with my friend, Mr. Wally Wang. That was his name. And you know what I'm going to say. He was Chinese, and I'm not supposed to say that.
You're not.
But he was. And he was a champion
Wow.
pickleballer in the day. He would
I
taught
never
me.
knew pickleball existed in the day.
And man, they hit you in the face with that ball. Because you got to.
Not ping pong, pickleball.
Otherwise, you don't want to serve boom, 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 boom. You don't want to do that in pickleball. It's too
Explain
fast.
the difference between ping pong and pickleball to Slick.
It's, you know something? You're getting
Pickleball,
even smaller. Pickleball's a little bigger.
But you don't
It's
use a table with a net, do you?
They have a net.
Yeah.
That's table tennis.
Pickleball is miniaturized tennis.
But
Ping
not with
pong
ping,
is
not a ping pong
miniaturized
table.
pickleball.
No, I mean, they have a miniature net set up.
Yeah.
So it's like an outdoor, it's like a space with a net, and they have lines for like
It's just not a table.
No.
It has one line, not the double lines. And they do play doubles. We play doubles. But this is going back 1986. I didn't even know it was called pickleball. We used to call it table tennis, I think we called it.
Right.
I didn't even.
It's a
listen,
table, you're playing tennis on it.
I went to NYU to play baseball, and they didn't have a baseball team. It shows you what kind of brain I got. So the coach says maybe in 10 years they still don't have a baseball team.
And NYU.
They had a stadium, but they didn't have a team.
No, I tried every sport. So I played it for like a few months.
Pickleball?
When I was a kid. No, tennis.
You look like a tennis player.
I look like a pickleball player.
No, like a tennis player. Or a pickleball player.
You actually start as a pickleballer, and then you become a tennis star.
Do you think RK plays?
RK does everything.
I was kind of like
This
T-ball to
kid,
baseball, maybe.
This kid, RK, where are you? RK does everything. I know he's a pickleballer, tennis champion, and he plays chess at the same time.
We got to get a picture of Dan next to RK for our social media. Because Dan picks up the banner, and then RK moves everything underneath.
yeah.
And then you got RK moving this whole banner in.
I didn't. You did.
No, you said RK, go get it.
I said RK before Dawn takes all
No, the one that
rows
was
of
outside.
paintings
There
out.
were two outside, and you sent them to go bring it in.
Yes, because I wanted to get it out your way.
But we had Dan.
But Dan
we had Slick.
Vinny
we had
took,
Riley and Vinny. And you
Vinny
said
took
poor
the
RK.
banner out that we were working on. So Slick is going to work on the banner, and Vinny took it out. I said, where's he going?
And then Freddie goes, oh, we're going to send.
Food in the house.
Someone got I Heart Mac and Cheese.
It's me. It's always me.
It's here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always me interrupting the show with my food.
This guy can. No, it's
Everyone wants the I Heart Mac and
It's
Cheese.
Riley's.
Maybe I shouldn't take credit for it. Let me check.
Riley, he left.
You guys should maybe order together.
Wait, he got tacos. No, mine's not here. It's not me.
Oh,
Sorry.
it is Vinny said.
Or it's Vinny's?
Tried to time it.
It's somebody.
Maybe it is Vinny's, or I don't know. Slick, it seems like Slick's gonna go eat it, or maybe it's Teddy's. I didn't even know you were here.
It's Vinny's.
I'm not sure it's mine.
One of the problems that we have
My
at this
goodness.
show is that nobody knows we're here. Because this used to be a theater for children. Ariana Grande, whatever her name is.
Ariana Grande. She got
sang
married,
here.
by the way.
Yeah, she got married. She'll be the less than 4 months. Was here, and they know this as the children's theater. So I got into a fight with the UPS guy here on 2nd Avenue yesterday because he couldn't figure out that we weren't a residence. So my package was missing for 3 days. I mean, we did this whole show on it. So it's amazing that the food guys know where we are. Or they go next door.
This blows their
That happened to us, and I think the
Yeah,
food
like,
came,
I
and then
usually
the
do it
food
to go
came,
out
and I
and eat them
ordered
'cause
it
I get
again, and it was
confused,
sitting
yeah.
outside. We had a whole lot of
What is
pancakes
Yeah,
that day.
exactly. Just
Yeah, we
leave
had
it in the road and drive
27
away.
pancakes.
A whole lot going on. So, we're going to go to commercial break.
Why don't we do that?
Let's take it out to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Spencer for more information on how to get your kids involved with tennis. Love Serving Autism for everyone on the spectrum. Any child on the spectrum, or just maybe some special classes from ages 4 and up. There are 14 locations in Florida. Wow, and there's
And
one
more
right here.
coming.
One right here in Boca. So
And
check
soon
it
we're
out.
going to have it down here. We'll do a pickleball parking lot, something in the parking lot.
LoveServingAutism.org or Lisa at LoveServingAutism.org. You can get all the information on the website. Always contact us and we'll get you in touch with Lisa. But what a great idea to get your kids involved with other kids now. If your kids have been from homeschool, if they've been virtual learning, it is a great opportunity
You
to
can
get
learn.
your kids
You
back
can
out.
learn virtually.
Teach virtually. Yes. Thank
I
you.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's like that game. What was that? Woo, wah, wee.
The
Wii.
The Wii.
Oh yeah, the Wii Sports.
I play tennis like I play golf.
We could put we too could put your face on the Wii.
Don't put my face on a Wii. You
Yeah,
might
we
like
did.
smack it or throw a dart at it. Stay tuned. Let's take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
Introducing Verijet, a new concept in short-haul aviation designed to get passengers closer to where they want to go. Powered by the award-winning Cirrus Vision Jet. The aviation world is talking about its unique state-of-the-art safety features, including the aircraft parachute system, and safe return that allows it to land itself in an emergency. Cabins are disinfected between passengers, and microparticle filtration treats the air every 30 seconds. all in a beautifully appointed premium cabin with plenty of room and first-class service and amenities. VeriJet, the best short-haul alternative.
Hi, this is Riley Rourke here with Today in History, your little segment. So today in 1946, a patent was filed in the United States for the H-bomb, the hydrogen bomb, which is like the atom bomb 2.0. It's never been used in war, thank God, and never will be, hopefully. It was filed by Klaus Fuchs and John von Neumann, and Klaus Fuchs betrayed John von Neumann and took it to the Soviets secretly. So that's just a little fun fact, and we've all been sitting a little more uncomfortable here on planet Earth ever since that patent was filed. Back to you in the studio.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Take it easy there, big boy, and we're back. Today's phone call, what is it to call in?
888-994-4995. You can see we changed the setup a lot yesterday. Wanted to give us a more of kind of a summer cohesive feel. Hey, I didn't realize I actually matched the picture behind me when I got dressed today. That's kind of funny.
Yes, you did, because your hand selected Barbara's painting.
Yesterday, though, we put that up. I didn't realize I got
You
dressed.
didn't let me change it. Don't say you did.
I didn't realize I got dressed
purpose.
to match it until
Don't
I'm sitting
say
here looking
that.
at the camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, I went to move that painting, which happens to be a beautiful painting by Barbara, and she said, no, it matches my clothes.
Well, let me tell you why we put it there, because we're feng shuiing the studio.
Here we go. Yes. I had some Hawaiian punch yesterday.
We are
because I
feng
wanted to
shuiing, clearing the energy, because you know tonight is a full moon. It is
a blood moon.
A blood moon.
A blood moon.
And if you believe in crystals and energy cleansing and clearing, put your crystals out. Actually, should have gone out last night for this morning, but put them out tonight. It's always good for 3 days. It's like, you know, a standard deviation, plus or minus 3 days. Plus or minus.
And it begins.
Put your crystals out, recharge them, re-energize them. I should probably take mine and put them out as well.
Give
Do
us a
what you
call
gotta
if
do.
you have your own juju story. Studio A will answer the phone. Studio B, you will not get an answer. Studio A, give us a call, 888-994-4995. And
You don't believe in healing crystals?
Of course I do. I sleep on them.
Do you?
You ever sleep on a healing crystal bag?
No. That's why I don't sleep, maybe.
No, dummy. You don't sleep on top of the crystals. The crystals are underneath.
It's like a crystal grid?
Wow. Wow.
Extra firm. It's like the nails
From
that go
him,
in.
I expect it. From you, I'm a little shocked.
The crew has been very busy the past couple of days moving things around. Amy, what do you think? You like it? Yeah, getting smoother.
Amy, we were going to move.
We just ran out of time.
We ran out of time because it's taken 2 days to hang them curtains. 2 days.
But I guess Riley got his lunch. I guess
Now
they're
you're
hungry
in
here.
trouble, though.
Why?
Now I want to finish the wall. So get ready, Lucy, because here we go. And I
Anyways.
have the perfect solution.
We have a
Don't-
longtime
don't
friend
you
in the
be-
studio.
Don't you be moving me aside.
We'll chit chat about that. Amy's got a great show coming up today at 2:30. The Art of Amy Reshevsky. Apparently,
Amy's the one that told me we got to change the back wall.
she's having a full. I know we were going to. We got to get up there, take everything down, and put everything back up. So it's really like a whole. It's a whole situation up there.
I'm talking about this, and you're talking about that.
What are you talking about?
That. That's
The
gotta
door?
go. That, yeah, that whole thing has to be changed.
All right, we'll check that out. And Pasita's here, Amy, so she's getting ready to rock and roll her show. But in the meantime, we have a friend of Amy's joining us. We have Spencer Myers with us. Spencer joined us when we were up at the other gallery. He had written a book, and we got to interview him. It was called For Your Grandson. Letters to My Grandson?
Letter to my grandson, yes.
Seems you're talking to your mic, Spencer.
I gave it to him. It was called A Letter to My Grandson, and it literally was a letter, and it was designed to be a gift to him on his 10th birthday. Turns out he wanted a computer game. I gave him a lot of life's lessons he probably won't realize until he's already suffered most of them. And he'll go back and he'll read that. Why didn't I listen to him?
How old is he now?
13.
Oh, okay. And you got him a laptop also?
No, he
No.
wanted one.
But he got the letter instead. Okay. And since that book and COVID happened, you were doing a lot of mini short stories you opened up for people to write in.
Yes. You know, my theme is the ecological thriller. That's my genre. And people ask, where did that come from? Most likely, the voice in the back of my head, my father, who was, I come from Depression-era parents, telling me, turn off the lights every time I left a room. There are probably a lot of people still like that. More than that, though, more than that, it's due to some real crucial facts. And I gave you a little fact sheet there.
Yes, here.
We have lost 30% of our topsoil since World War II. We only have about 60% remaining. Why is it important? Because without that topsoil being viable, we risk massive food shortages. The planet is turning into a desert, and the result is the potential for massive disruption all over the world, and ultimately leading to wars.
How did you get involved writing books about, you call it ecological thriller? Turning off the lights is different than truly learning about our topsoil and our food systems. And
well, my hero is Carl Hyacin. You're probably familiar with his work. Most people who...
His wife is my teacher.
How about that? His wife was an ex-client of mine in the Florida Keys years back. And I ran into Carl one day. He was having lunch in her shop. But I initially became acquainted with him when I was reading his first book. I was laying on the beach in Key West. It was a vacation. And I was 32 pages into his book, and I said, wow, this guy is writing something that is truly important and it's funny as hell. I can do this. I had, up until that point, I had written poetry, lots of nonfiction related to the topic of the day, whether it was crime prevention, physical fitness, so on and so forth. I have a lot of different backgrounds. Usually we write, we paint, we dance, we do in our art what we know. Well, ecology in that interest was something that had been part of my life since I was a kid in the rowboat with my father fishing out on the lakes. And he would tell me, if they overfish this lake, again, you got little guppies in here, and if they pour their septic tanks into the lake, then that kills the fish, and that sort of led to my development.
And then you've got this book, but all the other books you wrote, not the books, the stories people wrote in on integrity, you were telling me. And I found that fascinating because we talk about that all the time, especially now as we're coming out of this pandemic. We always say the only thing you truly have is your name and who you are at the end of the day. And is your integrity and your name is your legacy.
Yes.
And so when you told me you were having people write in these stories that were on your website about integrity, I thought, you know what, now's kind of the perfect time to talk about this because people have changed since the pandemic. And we say all the time, have they learned to be kinder and have more integrity? I don't know.
Neither do I. I think we're extremely divided, and I think it's due to cultural divide. It's not a political divide, it's a cultural divide. And finally, people are becoming aware of it. But when it comes to this topic, climate change, it's not a cultural thing. And it doesn't separate us by race, creed, religion, or anything else. This is going to affect every one of us on the planet. That's why I write about this. But I write about, there's no graphs or charts in my books. These are, as my former publicist described, fantastically troubled people. But usually those are the people who are interested and interesting. I firmly believe we are driven by our neuroses, and the craziest of us, those are the people most of us are interested in because we're not like them.
But that's why craziness sells. Because the more crazy you are, the more outlandish you are, the more it sells. I saw on the news today, Bruce Jenner, which is now Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
I
Yes.
saw him on Channel 12 because he wants to be the governor of California. Now, I never seen him interview until today. And it just took me back when I was a kid, how I admired this guy. Because he was the greatest athlete on the planet.
He
at
was
that
on the
time.
Wheaties box.
Yep.
Yes. So when I saw this whole thing and why he wants to be governor and everything else, I wouldn't vote for him based, not because he's a man, female, whatever. I just didn't like the way he was responding to the questions. He got annoyed that people were asking him questions. I guess his upbringing of, he was the greatest male athlete and now he's a female. So things have changed. But I read today that #1 interview was #1 for the month on television. So because it's him or her, whatever you want to call it, and talking about the governorship, that's what sells.
Because I think people like controversy.
But that's what sells.
Whatever
and they
side.
package it. So do you know who the co-host, because the guy is out from Channel 12, who they had on there? Late Night with Conan, or whatever.
Oh, really? Conan O'Brien?
His musician guy, the music guy, the black guy, he had on this suit. And again, why him? He just won a Grammy. He just won an Oscar for a movie.
Conan or Jimmy Fallon with Questlove?
No, not Jimmy Fallon.
I don't know who. I don't know
Late
who Conan's.
Night with
I don't know who his musician is.
Colbert.
Late night, Stephen Colbert.
Colbert.
Yeah,
I don't know who his
yeah.
musician
His
is.
musician guy. And it was phenomenal. And I was stuck watching this, and this guy's never done this before. And you could tell he's never done it before. I thought it was the most funniest, unpolished thing I've ever seen.
It was funny when my son was little. He would run around first grade saying, "Don't eat at," and I won't say this one fast food restaurant. He says they burn fossil fuels when they make their French fries. And he would run around elementary school saying this. The fact that his teachers would say, why is he doing that? And I don't know where he even learned that.
I'm looking at the source.
But I would never. I don't know whether it's true or not true on this famous French fries that he says, and he
Somebody
remembers
told him
it to this day.
Somebody told me
that they burn fossil fuels making French fries. And
Well-
he could have made that up. I don't know if it's true or not.
Of course they do. The energy has to come from someplace. Now, think of this. This is the dilemma that we're facing today. Over the past 150 years, that's 150 years, and our planet is what, like 4.5 million years old, okay? In the past 150 years, we have increased, if we keep on at the pace we're going, we will have increased CO2 levels, that's the gas that comes from burning fossil fuels, oil and gas, to levels that we haven't seen in 38 million years on the planet, okay? Well, why is that important? It's important because think about being inside a tin can. It's fully enclosed and somebody starts heating it up. You can't get out. You will ultimately suffocate, and everything inside the can, whether it was alive or not, will ultimately perish. That's what's happening to the Earth. We're our own little tin can that's heating up. So the business about the French fries, it's a fossil fuel, it's some form of energy that's creating that, and until we wean ourselves of that, we're going to continue to have this problem. But once again, when I write about it, now my newest book is dead wrong. You can see, I'm doing my best to
How do we,
promote it.
I see your solution. We reduce the gases and warm air, which sound great, right? So we stop the ice caps from melting and we lower our carbon footprint and all these things that we should be doing. But how can we collectively actually do this?
We don't do it collectively. We do it one at a time.
Okay.
It's this simple. The two things that have the greatest, that you and I do, that have the greatest impact upon the solution are the things we buy and the people we vote for. So the next time you buy a car, you have to make a decision. Is it going to be gas or electric? Are you going to be part of the problem or part of the solution?
Well, that's changing. 2025, they're looking to make every car, I think Ford now only does electric. The other thing is Bitcoin, the gentleman that dropped it, and the reason why, it takes a football field of warehouses of computers to run a Bitcoin operation. It's called mining.
Yes. Huge.
So the temperature at this level for Bitcoin mining in 3 years will raise the temperature of the planet by 2 degrees. That's why he dropped Bitcoin. Had nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with it was going through the roof, and he single-handedly dropped it.
Because of
went
the
into
amount
toilet.
of computing power that's required to do that.
Interesting.
The
Correct.
second thing I mentioned was, first is our buying habits. The second is who we vote for. Are we going to continue to vote for people who did what the Florida legislature just did? They passed a law that prohibits local governments from putting into the building codes, which is their prerogative, the demand for charging stations. If you build a new gas station or make modifications, build an apartment complex, something like that, you would have to have a charging station. And the Florida legislature says, no, you can't do that. Well, what do people do who live in apartments? They don't have garages. They can't have their own little, plug-ins for their cars. We have to get out of the way of what you said is inevitable, that we are going to make this change as consumers. But those are the two easiest things any of us can do. Where's the gas coming from? Cars. It's coming from farming, cattle, and utility companies. Businesses and homes, yeah, but they're not the big culprits.
They even talked about solar panels being a problem. There was a special on solar energy becoming a problem towards the earth, towards where it's based out of. Towards, there's going to be issues on everything, but I think politically, you have presidents who they want the vote, so they go to Pennsylvania. Everybody there is in the coal mining business, so you'll lose Pennsylvania. If you say, no more coal mines, we're going to go electric, you're going to have to find different ways of producing the mass amount of power that we need. The windmills, they're putting windmills in the ocean now and dropping the lines so that they can create energy that way. Is it enough? The supply and demand is what runs everything. Is there enough energy being done with the alternate ways of doing things? Can you get in an electric car and drive from here to Miami without worrying that you're going to run out of electricity?
Everything now is a transition.
Yeah.
We transitioned from horse and buggy to automobiles. We transitioned from an agrarian economy to an industrial economy. We'll make this transition. We simply have to provide the necessary incentives for people to do it and make it simple. One of the obstacles to the solution of this climate change is when you ask, or when you think this is such a huge problem, you and I can't do anything about it. We have to rely upon somebody else doing it. And that's patently untrue. I mean, it's as simple as, what car are you going to buy? Our buying decisions will impact everything that happens on the planet, and we have the ultimate power to do that.
True that. I think horse and buggy
Should we
is
go
the way
back
to
to
go.
it?
Yeah.
I do. I think it's the way to go. Because instead of having a car, you have a horse. I just, to me it works better. It's more efficient. And you sort of have to take care. Some guys have cars that, you ever seen the smoke that comes out of them? It will kill a horse.
And trucks as well. Tell us about your book, an ecological thriller, Pest.
Well, the book I'm writing now is called Dead Wrong. It's a sequel to Pest. The main character is kind of a laissez-faire environmentalist by the name of Dirk Bryan, who's more at home on the beach, riding his motorcycle and his bicycle and having a beer and a grouper sandwich than he is chasing criminals who pollute the earth. But because they do it in his paradise, he gets real personally involved in it. And he has a lot of, I don't want to give away the ending of the first book, which leads into the second book, but he has some personal crises that most of us don't suffer, but you will identify with it. And the particular story in Pest involves pesticides and a ruthless manufacturer who's trying to get a pesticide approved by the EPA that's supposed to do its job, kill the bugs, and then break down naturally in the soil and be harmless. Well, it turns out it can't do that, but he's falsified the research, and then the bodies start piling up, and Dirk Bryan, his job is to ultimately find the guy and do something about it. And there are a lot of crazy characters in there. One of them called Gloves, who wears these plastic gloves all the time. An ex-wrestler with anger management issues, and a score of other people. Skip Trace, who's very good at finding people.
There's murder, ecological thriller, there's body pileups, there's all kinds of investigations going on.
One investigation, lots of crazy characters, each with their own agenda, and it just continues into the second book, Dead Wrong, which takes it a totally different approach, but they all occur in Florida, places people have been, on streets they know.
Are you from Florida?
Pardon?
Are you from here?
Originally from Michigan, and moved here in '91. And I'm a Floridian. The weather fits me like a glove.
Beautiful weather. You can't beat that.
No, until hurricane season.
Yeah, that's Monday. That's Tuesday, actually.
I ain't happy no more. It's Tuesday?
Yes. June 1st starts hurricane season.
I hope everybody's getting their waters. Don't wait until a hurricane is coming to get water. Stack up your water. Stack up your hurricane supplies. Do it now. I have somebody who may be coming on the set to start showing how that whole thing.
But actually, while we talk about it, you talk about what people do. They bring gasoline and they get their houses ready and generators. Can't be great for the environment.
No.
Well, let's focus on the big things. If you focus on the big things, the small things will get taken care of. By the way, if someone would like to read the first chapter of my new book is on my website. It's booksbyspencer.com. That's booksbyspencer.com. And you can read the first chapter and you can give me some input. Tell me, do you like this character? Where do you think the story is going? And I encourage people to do that. The book's coming along. It should be, I'm hoping, available by fall.
Excellent. That's kind of cool.
It's
Maybe have a book signing.
Actually, someone emailed us about doing a book signing also.
God promised me wings. It's true. Suicidal book.
What is?
See, she doesn't answer her emails, but I do. That was the name of the book.
Oh.
She wants to come on.
Oh, okay.
And she was a former suicide. But that was.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I'd be willing to do this as this comes along. If we get through every 6 or 8 chapters, I would be willing to come back and we'll talk about the feedback I've gotten and see what kind of input and ideas that people have had. That could be
That's interesting because I
fascinating.
think that anything right now, 3 months from now, the feedback is going to change because of the way things are going on right now.
Yeah.
But it could be a home run where you've hit it on the head for people. It could be some people don't like what you're. It could be interesting.
But controversy either way, it stirs up the conversation and it plants a
Absolutely.
seed and brings some awareness to people that may not have even thought about it. Like, oh, I can't afford an electric car, but then you have to do the cost analysis of what gas would, the convenience of plugging it in, and where do you charge it. And it's interesting. It is a transition. I had never even thought about it that way. And we will make it, and we will make that transition at some point. Just how long does it take to get there?
There's a lot of education needs to be had on it too. Maintenance, the whole nine, how it works, how it doesn't work. If you never own an electric car, find out what that's all about. Or look at the bigger picture.
I bought an electric car, and it did change. It was like the decision that I made when I stopped eating red meat. It meant I couldn't go to the fast food restaurants anymore. So that changed my behavior patterns. And now I'm constantly looking at that gauge to see what I've got left.
It's the fear of.
And I'll get used to it. The more charging stations there are, then I won't worry about it. Right now, if you drive a gas car, you get the same concern, but you know there's a gas station every third
Always.
block, you know?
Yeah. I would put a charging station in every gas station. Be done
Well,
with
I think people's homes are going to start putting in charging stations, and there'll be adaptations that you'll be able to put in your garage. But right, if you're in an apartment complex, where do you go? How are you going to have those charging
Also,
stations?
building green, right? There's this thing in Florida that I learned when I was in the construction business down here. You can build green, and there's all sorts of stuff in there that doesn't pollute the environment because there is elements of materials that they use that you shouldn't use, you know? And
Miami Beach passed a building code that says you cannot build a new home without having some solar on it. Just think about the design flaws in our current housing and building. A building that doesn't have a south-facing roof doesn't lend itself to a solar application as well as one that does, which means that, and that's certainly not part of any building code that I know of right now.
Interesting.
Well, that's what the gentleman who had the solar panels here a few weeks ago
Solar Pro,
was
yeah.
talking about. And he got 2 people that called him up, and they're getting the panels put in. I just don't understand why solar panel companies don't advertise more. There's some fantastic programs out there.
Well, don't worry,
If you
because
don't-
now that your phone doesn't listen to you, I guarantee you, when you open up social media, you're going to have a lot of ads right now on solar panels.
But that's okay.
Because that's what happens.
But it's the education behind it. I could get 1,000 solar panels and say, just like, I don't face the south. I ain't gonna get involved with that. Meanwhile, there are people who are doing it, and the electric companies are buying their power because they don't need all the power they're generating. And he brought that up. And how many people you pay FPL to buy your power? I mean, there's a whole lot. You gotta get educated. And you're right. It isn't about us, and it isn't even about our kids. It's about their kids.
It's about your grandchildren.
It's about his. Yeah, it's about his even his grandkids.
You got one that's going to be a year old this weekend.
Yeah, I saw him walking around the other day. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not a good legacy to think about our grandkids saying, "What the hell was he thinking about?
Well, they
Why
tell
did
you,
he
look
do
what you
this
left
to
me.
us?"
Yes, yes.
I don't want that.
Every
my
day.
grandson to think that.
Every day I get that from my kids. It says, "Guys, you guys left us a mess."
Imagine when they say, "Grandpa, you actually put gas in your car."
What's gas?
Right? Imagine when they say
what's
that
a gas
to you.
station?
You actually have to go to a gas station and put gas in your car. It's like when you say you had a horse and buggy.
I say, "No, what's a TV?"
Well, I now drive by a convenience store and I see all those people. What are they doing there?
It's going to change. Spencer, stay with us. Let's take a commercial break. 888-994-4995. Studio A, stay tuned. You can get these books. You can get them on booksbyspencer.com. You can get Pest, an ecological thriller. You can also read the first chapter of Dead Wrong, which is the second book after Pest. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They have been working around the clock, nonstop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it has never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP2TV at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting Café to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation, staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
The Spa Facial by Maria has amazing facials, body treatments, and sugar body waxing for any special occasion. All our spa treatments have organic and natural ingredients concentrated just for your skin. We guarantee all natural products help you with that extra feeling of zen. The Spa Facial offers organic facials, foot detox, aromatherapy, manscaping, and face and body waxing. Call the Spa Facial for your spa appointment with Maria at 954-213-5034 or visit her website at thespafacial.info.
On this day in history, in 1977, Star Wars: A New Hope made its debut, launching the fandom that we all know, may or may not love.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hi, my name's Dan. Also on this day in history, Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States, not to be confused with Andrew Jackson, survived his impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate. After being pushed by a wide margin through the House, the Senate narrowly voted to acquit him. It's very similar to what happened last year. Why he was he was in a little bit of trouble for trying to get his Secretary of War replaced while Congress was out of session, but he dodged that bullet. And even though he appointed Ulysses S. Grant while Congress was out, he's got to stay in power. So, yeah, seems a little bit like last year. Back to you.
Did you know that? Do you know that gambling in the state of Florida is about to be approved? The Senate signed it, the House approved it. It has to go to the Secretary of the Interior.
Do you know that in Texas, you're no longer going to have to get a permit to get a gun?
Yes,
is what they're trying to pass that also?
Yeah. There's no permit.
No permit and no background check.
Nope.
That's just Texas, yeah.
Yeah, Texas is a big state.
Bad enough.
But this thing with the gambling is interesting because the Secretary of the Interior, did you even know that existed?
Yes, but I'm wondering how they feel about, how our Seminoles down here feel about that.
The Seminoles are the ones that are pursuing it. They get, I think, 60% of every dollar.
Interesting.
They're going to be making big dollars. And it's going to start as early as, I'm going to say September 15th.
Interesting.
If it takes place, I think it's going to happen. But it goes to show you, they can move very quickly when they want to.
The whole thing just goes to show you. It's just so interesting, all of it. Nice job, guys, on the spots. We got Amy here getting ready for her show. We've got Spencer Myers here. I'm fascinated by just the whole theme of your book and that you're really coming out and sharing the information. Because there's so much controversy, you know, those who believe in global warming, those that don't. It becomes a whole political platform. But in essence, we got to get the information out there. And it's really here to support our grandchildren.
Yeah, but how in the world can you not believe in something that's around you all the time? You know, I mean, there's warming, and if you don't think it's true. It's funny, during the pandemic, the ships didn't go out, the oceans got cleaner. The cars weren't being driven, and they were talking about how smog was beginning to disappear.
Yep.
If you go to the Hudson River in Manhattan, you can see the bottom of the Hudson. That's amazing. You can't do it no more, but that's amazing.
I wrote a little piece that's on the website called The New Unnormal. And it was right at the end of April last year when, if you recall, I think the county administrator announced that the lockdown was going to end on a Monday, the next 3 days later.
Right.
So I went out for a little drive to a hardware store to get something, and this is Friday, and I was surprised how many people are already out on the street. And I thought, well, by Monday, it's going to be a zoo again. And on the way home, I observed things that I hadn't thought about much up until that point. I heard all the birds singing in my neighborhood. I hadn't heard that before. The flowers seemed brighter. The aroma was fresher. And we found just exactly what he was saying. Fisheries found that the supply had been regenerated. Global warming went down. There were all kinds of positive things to this pandemic. And I wrote a little piece called the new unnormal, and I don't think we'll ever be quite the same as a result of this.
Maybe it makes you a little bit more aware. I do. I walk around the neighborhood and you see the birds. I actually saw a woodpecker last year walking around my neighborhood. I'd never seen a woodpecker, nor did I know woodpeckers lived in Boca Raton, let alone in a tree across my street. And my daughter was living with us at the time, and I said to her, "Do you see that?" And we saw it fly from a house over to a tree. It was a woodpecker. I think I even told you about it. Never seen a woodpecker alive in Boca Raton in my neighborhood. But yes, it makes you aware of, wow, the beautiful wildlife that we have here that we should preserve.
We have every bird in the creation of man.
You ever seen a woodpecker?
I have them. I have woodpeckers. I got these birds that look like dinosaur birds because we live off a lake, and it's a bird sanctuary over the lake. You know who lives across the lake from me? From Space of Mind, the owner, Allie. I wave at her now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know she was there, 11 years. But we got all these birds and everything else going on. My father used to take fruits when we had a farm in Puerto Rico, and a coconut tasted like a coconut. And mangoes tasted different than they do now.
And snozberries taste like snozberries, Willy Wonka. But
yeah,
yes.
That too, whatever she says. But things have changed. And you know something? We're in for a rude awakening. We talked about, are people going to learn a lesson after everything we've been through? Do you still continue to wash your hands, even though you should?
Do you know there's a surplus now on hand sanitizer that they can't give it away? Some stores are saying if you buy $10 worth of sanitizer, we will give you a gift card to come back to the store because I made me think of you. And we've got excess sanitizer now. We've got excess toilet paper. We've got excess hand soap.
We have excess toilet paper? We do?
They're giving stuff away because
Can
we've
you-
got
can you
too
get me in
much
touch? I wanna know
sanitizer.
that.
We have too much sanitizer.
I will get a truck and buy a pallet of toilet paper, and I will sell it on the street. Oh, it's closed? No, I don't want clothes.
And
I want toilet
sanitizer.
paper.
But you say don't mess with Mother Nature, pretty much is what you say. It's true. We talk about it all the
Yes,
time.
that's the term similar term I use.
Similar term, but for all our purposes, the same type of term. Just
It's
don't
funny.
mess with her.
It's funny because if something goes, and I don't want to wish this again, all of these excesses are going to disappear. But the problem is that we don't learn from our mistakes. You know, we continue and continue, and we take something bad and we make it worse. And then we say, you see, bad was good, let's go back to bad. That's not progress.
It's true.
Well,
See
the
what we've
majority
learned.
of people who don't read a book a week, get their news from social media or from media that is extremely biased, they need to know something simple. What can I do to be part of the solution? And we need to have like the top 10 list. Here's what you can do. Simple things like recycling, your bottles and your cans and your newspapers, and all of that helps. But it's the big stuff that it makes the largest impact. That's why I say we need to concentrate on the cars and the utilities and in the farming and that sort of thing because they're making the largest impact, and all of us are involved in that. What we buy,
But let me
what we
ask
buy,
you.
what
Let
we
me
buy.
ask you a question before we get to educating how to buy. Don't we have to educate people how to get educated? I mean, during the pandemic, the president at the time made a joke about Clorox in the veins, and some Googleness went in Texas and injected themselves with Clorox. It's just stupidity. He shouldn't have said it to begin with, because if you are panic-stricken, you will listen to the worst advice in the world.
Because also you've learned the gift of editing. When you take a snippet out of context, what people hear.
But
Because
people-
our attention span is like that of
But
an
people
ant right
can't
now.
hear something that makes no sense and make it biblical. All of a sudden, it was on Google. It has to be true. I mean, Dr. Google. You know that more people go to Google for cancer than they do for a doctor?
Yep, I got a phone call about that last night.
I mean, I don't understand this.
Yep.
If it's in someone's self-interest, most of us will change. What's the motto of my website is save the planet, save yourself.
I love the blog here that you're talking about, when you're talking about the bike ride and you see the two children playing. And basically it's about education. Hatred and inequality cannot become the values unless we oppose them on souls. We are not learned to hate. We're not born to
birthed.
hate. We're not born for inequality. These are the things that are learned. So
These are
why not teach better behaviors?
But that's just
Learn
it. Why
equality.
are we even having a conversation about don't teach your kids to hate, don't teach hate, don't teach racism? Why are we even having to have that conversation?
Were you
It
always an
makes no sense.
author?
I have been writing since my 20s.
Is this your
I
full
started,
time,
I
what you
started
do?
with poetry. I won an honorable mention in a local community college poetry contest, and I attached a photograph to it made by a friend of mine who was a pretty good photographer. And they kept writing me and saying, "Who's the photographer? Who's the photographer?" I said, "What about the poem? What about the poem?"
I just showed Freddie the blog, but that's we talk about all the time when our children, our grandchildren. You're born, there's a woman I follow, I guess I've got 5,000 friends, and she must be adopting this baby who was a crack or heroin addicted baby. So the baby was born 2 weeks ago. And every day she posts what his scores are, what he's doing, how they're weaning him, the morphine reduction. Imagine actually doing this to a child as you're pregnant, number one. The gift of this woman for adopting this baby that she's going to do, and what this child's life is going to be like. And she said, you can't have judgment on this baby. This baby didn't ask to be born addicted. This baby didn't ask to be born with whatever situations he's going to have. And she says, please pray for him as the doctors follow him all along. And you know, you hope when this child grows up, he's going to grow up in some sort of they tell me, neurotypical normal lifestyle and not be bullied. But this kid didn't ask for any of that.
You're right.
And this is what we're coming into the world with.
Well, I'm going to give you a bigger problem. The United States veteran, a vet, comes back from Afghanistan. And you love your vets, you know, they stand up at the airports, they applaud, they do parades and everything else. And then you want to put it under the rug because you got a major problem. You know, they're coming back with some real deep psychological issues. So they're going to do magic mushrooms that's going to be approved medically, like marijuana and everything else, because they've come to the realization that we have problems. There's some psychological issues going on in there. And even though a vet, you know, you salute, thank you for your system, and thank you for your service, and they push the problems to the side. It's very similar to what you're talking about. We got some major issues, and unless we're willing to have these conversations, we ain't never gonna resolve them.
I'm laughing because the magical mushrooms just were made legal in the state of Oregon.
Yes, I saw that. Now they're gonna make them legal here because it seems to be working with PTSD. Is that what it is? PTSD, and they're also talking about some other drugs to help the vets cope in Florida. Again, there is no right answer. There are just multiple answers to see what works. But wouldn't you rather take a chance on trying something new and improve, like an electric car? Why don't you try it before you condemn it, before you say no, before you say all the it's easy to be negative, easy. So why do we do it? Why don't we try working on something for a change? Change. You know what? Wash your hands. Stop. Again, I go
There's
back.
a surplus of sanitizer.
Don't worry about that. You're going to be able to, and don't drink it. You're going to be able to have it. But we are talking about how people should be nicer to people. You know, you're coming out of the worst history in this country in 100 years, and you did it together. Just hang in there together.
It's true.
Just be fair with one another. And if somebody writes about it, read it. Don't condemn it. Don't say, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's offering you a change that betters you a little bit. Wow, thank you for lunch.
Israel?
Wow.
One of the things I've observed, following up on what you were saying, in consideration of this political division we have in the country, it seems like there's two camps of people. I think that there's a cultural divide, but I think that it is largely due to the fact that we focus upon, we read, we look at the media that supports our ideas. So the suggestion that folks ought to give something a try, if it's not in their scope, they're not watching it, they're not tuned into that media that's presenting it, they're never going to see it. This is a huge problem for our society, that we only read, watch, listen to those things that confirm what we already know. And the old expression, the worst kind of information to have is the stuff you know for sure that ain't so, is the dangerous trend in this situation. Education, education, education. That's it. We have to just keep striving at educating people to be more knowledgeable and stick with it for years and years and years.
How many grandchildren do you have?
Only one. And I'm so happy I have one. And I can spoil this young man. And it is delight in the pandemic has separated me from him for the past 2 years. And we're having a reunion this summer, and I am so looking forward to. The best week I ever spent in my life was the week I spent with him when he came to visit me.
That's the one thing that it did do. It divided people from hugs and touching and seeing your grandchildren or seeing your grandparents, whichever way it is. You missed that. You didn't see your grandkids for a year.
Yeah, but it takes away on one side, now that it's back, you know, and I understand the grandchildren, I understand the family, I understand the inner core, but you got to extend also. You know, we never shut down during this whole thing. We expanded. We've asked to have food drives. We've had people taking food. 18,000 tons was delivered, and we were part of pushing that out and everything else. The object of the game is make it bigger. You have your circle, make it bigger, but make it positive.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. And you know something, the news is meant to report the news, not dictate your life. If they tell you that a light bulb will save you from cancer, and you believe that, then you better have some research to show that. Otherwise, you're going to be out in the cold when it doesn't work.
Do your research. These books are incredible. I love your take on life. Your blogs are amazing. Booksbyspencer.com. Check out some of these blogs. Talk about life lessons.
And it's true, because the word is written, read it. You may not even agree with what he writes, but at least you're getting another opinion.
If you wrote a letter to your grandsons, what would you write?
Send money. It's your turn.
No, really.
What would you say to him?
Send money. It's your turn. What would I write?
Life lessons pop up.
What would I write? I probably am going to leave them something to live life about. Because as you know,
You've lived life.
I've lived life pretty much in a lot of different ways. I think that legacy, when you're 20 years of age, doesn't mean anything to you. I think your last name doesn't mean anything to you until everybody you grew up with, including your parents, all perish. And the only thing left is you and your integrity. And that is the learning lesson that I would love to teach them at their earlier age, because you should do things right from the beginning, and everything in your life will always be right. So,
for me, the lesson was simple. Integrity costs 5 cents, and it's worth $1 million.
True that.
One day My grandfather, later in his life, had vegetable gardens, and at the corner of stand in front of his house, they sold the vegetables. One day he got talking to one of his customers and he shortchanged her. Later in the day, he realized it, and he drove all the way to the other side of town to give her back a nickel. He wasn't the most popular person. He had a lot of opinions about things which I'm sure Grandpa knew nothing about, but he was the most honest person, and they had the largest funeral in the history of town when he died.
If your legacy, what is your legacy? And it's integrity. It's your name. It's who you are. It's what you come into this world with. It's what you go out with this world with, is your integrity.
And that belongs to you, nobody else. So.
Amazing. Spencer, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Such a pleasure. Friend of Amy Reshevsky. So Amy, thank you for that referral. Booksbyspencer.com. You can check out all his blogs. You can get this one, Pest and Ecological Thriller, and read chapter 1 of the new book, Dead Wrong. Who knows what that one's about? So you can also contact him at 561-729-6240, or always right here at the cafe. Let's take a commercial break. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Everyone must be eating lunch, Freddie.
They're
We'll be
playing
right
cards
back.
in there.
I don't know where they all went. We'll be right back.
Amp Media Productions and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They've been working around the clock nonstop to promote over 500 shows and businesses with added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422.
To AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios that will set the venue for any media application. We offer remote services as a radio or TV production, and continue to grow new venues to bring your ideas to life. We also specialize in video and photo content for social media. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff from PromoStuffForYou.com. We are now entering some really challenging and uncertain times, but one thing is for certain is branding and marketing doesn't stop. At PromoStuffForYou.com, we have access to 1.4 million promotional and branded products. We want to sit down with you and help you come up with that right strategy to make sure that the remainder of this year goes smoothly for you and make sure that your name is out there. Branding is the most important thing a company can do, and it's not just for cattle anymore. So contact PromoStuffForYou.com, 561-693-2117. Visit our website, call us, we're happy to help. You can reach us at 561-693-2117. Looking forward to helping
Dr. Laura Ellick, a licensed psychologist practicing in both Florida and New York with over 20 years of experience, addresses the negative thoughts that are keeping you stuck in your lifestyle patterns. Dr. Ellick works with children, teens, and adults, from anxiety and depression to eating disorders, addiction recovery, and medical issues. Making a deep interpersonal connection is a magical part of the therapeutic relationship. Contact Dr. Laura at 516-635-6186 or at Laura Ellick, ELLICK.com for a personalized consultation. It's time to remove the blocks that are preventing you from achieving your dreams. Call Dr. Laura Ellick at 516-635-6186 or at LAURAELLICK.com.
And here's some more history facts for you. On May 26, 2004, the United States Army veteran Terry Nicholas is found guilty of 161 state murder charges for helping carry out the Oklahoma City bombing. In 1964 and 1965, he conspired with Michael in the planning and preparation of a truck bombing of Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. on April 19, 1995. The bombing claimed the life of 168 different people. Nicholas was convicted of conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter for killing federal law enforcement personnel. He was sent to life in prison without the possibility of parole after the jury deadlocked on the death penalty. He also has to serve for 168 life sentences. Now back to you and Dawn and Freddie.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Café Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hey guys, Teddy from the Brooklyn Café here, and this segment is brought to you by Tracy McDonough at Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playground with everything you can ask for, from chromatic therapy to the sound bed, which is my personal favorite, to the Beamer machine, which has truly helped with a lot of my sports injuries. Be sure to go check it out at healingmomentsfl.com. Back to Dawn and Freddie.
I gotta tell you, I gotta give the kids a lot of credit because they put that whole thing together. Murder
Nice
in the
job,
house.
guys. Murder in the house. RKARKAY. I like that one too.
RK. Remember
RK.
the movie Argo? You guys remember the movie
I
Argo?
think that's his new name now. Is RKAARKAY.
RK. 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 RA. RA. Wow.
RKARKAY.
I think I'm gonna call him Dr. Spock. Did you see what he does with his eyebrow?
What, he can raise his eyebrow?
He raises his eyebrow. Ask him to do it. Oh, like the Rock. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
ARKY.
Except he's not the Rock. He's more like the Pebble.
That pebble leaves a lasting impression. Is all I can
Pebble
tell
in
you.
your shoe, baby. Wow.
We're gonna. Wow, what a full show we had. Nice job, guys. They were busy in the house 2 days. It looks nice.
We'll see how many come tomorrow, because tomorrow we're gonna step it up another notch.
Really?
Yes, they're gonna put their Comcast commercials together, and we're going to play them on the air as they get them done.
Awesome. I think Space of Mind has some commercials. Remember, we put that challenge to them, so we're going to see what their commercials are also.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, let's see if I can get some of their commercials tomorrow to put into their programming. We'll see what happens with that. Nice show. Check out booksbyspencer.com. Also, loveservingautism.org. They teach tennis to all kids on the autism spectrum from ages 4 through adult. A lot of things. They've got 14 locations in Florida, one actually right here in Patrick Park, so very close to Boca Raton. They also have a summer camp up in Palm Beach Gardens. And actually, we got an email from the radio station about water incidents that are happening, so I'm going to reach out to them.
That's right. And we talked to Jake.
Live like Jake.
Like Jake. And we've warned people about what's happening, and I guess we just have to do it over and over again, because you got to keep your eye on the little ones. Whether it's a lake, a pool, could be anything. Could be. It only takes 3 inches of water to drown.
Full show today. Nice job.
Oh, listen, and also on that tennis piece, we're going to make an announcement. Dawn is going to go up against our guest that was in here today.
Virtually.
All 6 feet of her.
Whoop, boom.
And she's going to play tennis. No, we're going to do it here with the ship.
I can do it virtually. I got no eye-hand coordination. Teddy will vouch for me is all I can tell you.
We have a way of overcoming that.
You know, even my eye doctor will laugh, but hey.
We are going to attach 3 rackets to you, one in your hand and 2. One of the 3 has to hit the ball.
Something's going to knock the
Something's going to hit the ball.
You never know. Have a great day, everyone. Tuned in today at 2:30 to Let's Talk Art with Amy Rashevsky. We've got Pazit joining her. We've got some of our artists in the house that will be joining the show, talking about business in the art world. And actually, Katrina's going to be coming in. She has an event that she's promoting.
She's coming in today?
Yep, she's part of the show.
Excellent. 888-994-4995, Studio A for that show as well. So you can call in and participate. And there's a lot of moving parts that's going to be on that show. You don't want to miss it.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Be kind to each other. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Café is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could